Hi guys, Tim here. Ever wondered why some property investors thrive while others struggle? Ever wondered why you may only have stopped at one property and other guys have got six or seven? The secret lies in understanding and managing three crucial risks. Now, first risk is market risk. Okay, market risk is fluctuations in property values due to the market, up, down, economic downturns, changes in employment rates, etc. So there's a few management strategies we can put in place surrounding that. Bit of diversification. We don't always invest in the same spot all the time. Now we invest in various types of properties. It might be apartments, it might be house and lands, it might be uh, commercial properties. It might even be light industrial properties. Okay, so we focus in general though on areas that have a strong long-term growth potential. Okay, so you want that growth to be there. There's no point in buying in things like boom or bust places like mining towns and stuff like that, because they're going to go boom as quickly as they go bust. So, I've seen a lot of people invest in mining towns and basically their property goes from, it goes from 200 to 800, but then it goes back to 200 again. So what part of the market are you buying in when it comes to that? So we've got to be critical about these sort of purchases, okay? Number two thing that we have to worry about is tenant risk, okay? So, there's issues to finding and maintaining quality tenants. Obviously, the right tenant's going to look after your place. They're going to do the right thing. They're going to pay their rent on time. They're not going to destroy the place. And that's highly important. Okay, so surrounding that, there's also things like vacancies and as I've said, property damage and not paying rent. So property damage tends to be the biggest one to be concerned about, and non-payment of rent. Okay, so through different management strategies, we can control that, being the way we screen our tenants. There's no point in having a real estate agent that says, yeah, we screen everybody, and then they don't perform any actual checks. Another cute thing that can be considered is, maintaining good relationships with tenants. People don't understand that, tenants are people too. They're not just, they're my tenants, they pay my rent, blah, blah, blah. No. They're actual people that want to live in a house. They want to be looked after. They want to be treated like human beings. So maintaining good lines of communication with your tenants is a very, very, and I've found that to be in my properties as well, a very crucial piece of maintaining good tenant care and relations and looking after my properties for me. So, landlord insurance is another thing that I highly recommend to everybody. Landlord insurance is not that expensive. Usually works out to sometimes about a week's rent, but generally less than that. And if you think about that over the course of a year to protect your property in case something goes wrong, very, very effective type of insurance to have there. Okay. The other thing to look at is to maintaining your tenants' relationships and maintaining that you're doing things legally and maintaining that you're doing things right, is to have professional property management services looking after your properties. Okay. So again, it pays to put them through a little bit of an interview process. You don't just want them to be the type of people who merely collect rent. You want them to actually have an interest in looking after your property. You want them to have an interest in making sure that the property is cared for by your tenants. They're going to do the inspections. They're going to make sure that, when you get cranky, they keep you within legislation. So it's kind of important to have them, and they're usually not that expensive. I think the around the traps these days, you're talking somewhere between, I think it's about 7 and 8% is the average numbers that people are working with at the moment. Some are as high as 10, some are as low as 3, but what are you really getting for your 3%? I have to question when things are a little too cheap. So then, number 3 critical risk is a financial risk. Okay, so these are the risks that are associated with financing and your cash flow. Okay, so things like interest rate changes, unexpected repairs, incorrect use of negative gearing. So, these things are pretty important and usually are what breaks most people when it comes to their property investment portfolios. So what we want to do is we maintain a bit of a cash buffer for these unexpected repairs. What I say to most of my clients is that you want to have about a month's worth of rent up your sleeve, okay, for a month to 2 months generally, to allow for some quick repairs. Hot water system blows up, air conditioner does something silly, a stove blows up. Like these things happen, right? They're not finite uh, products in your house, but and that does happen from time to time. So if you've got a little bit of a cash buffer for that sort of stuff, you're laughing. Okay. A lot of people tend to jump in and they over leverage their investments, so that they borrow too much. They don't maintain the right buffer of deposit versus repayment, or borrowings. They go, oh well, the bank will give me five. Will let me do it with a 5% deposit, but then if you do the math, it may not work out that the rent is going to cover your loans. So then that puts you in a negative situation. So not that I recommend one way or another. It's always up to my client. It's up to their risk appetite. But you've got to maintain something that's comfortable for you. Okay. Consider things like interest-only loans versus interest and principal loans. That can save you money too. Take the extra money and pay it off your own home loan, because your own personal home loan is not tax effective for you, whereas an investment property loan is. So there's a few other ways that you can manage a few bits and pieces there. The other thing that you want to do is constantly review and optimize your investment loans. I recommend to most of my clients that they check them every 12 to 18 months. Okay, because if you're constantly refinancing, it's going to do your head in. But every 12 to 18 months, making sure you're on a really good rate to ensure that your portfolio is working at its optimal level. Okay, so these are the little bits and pieces where it helps to have these under control. It helps to have these considered, and safeguard your property investment. Let's have a chat. Let's get together. Let's have a little talk, obligation free, of course, to assess your portfolio, and let's see where we can help you improve your portfolio. And remember, successful property investing isn't just about avoiding risk; it's about managing them. Okay, and this is how you build a resilient property investment portfolio, and it will stand the test of time. Wishing you guys a great day. All the best. Bye for now.